Barnaby was a little bear who loved honey more than anything in the world. He lived in a cozy den with his mother. One sunny morning, he woke up with a rumbling tummy. "Mummy, I'm hungry," he said. "There's a jar of honey in the kitchen," his mother replied. "But please be careful. It's a brand new jar." Barnaby ran to the kitchen. The honey jar was big and heavy. He tried to open it, but the lid was stuck. He pushed and pulled, but nothing happened. He grumbled, "This is too hard." Just then, he saw a big, red ant crawling on the table. The ant was carrying a tiny piece of leaf. Barnaby watched as the ant worked hard to move the leaf. Barnaby took a deep breath and tried one more time. He twisted the lid with all his strength. Pop! The lid came open. Barnaby smiled. "Thank you, little ant," he whispered. He dipped his paw into the jar and licked the delicious golden honey. The next day, Barnaby woke up with a giant honey craving. "I need more honey," he declared, and decided to go on a real honey hunt. He bravely walked into the forest past tall oak trees and green ferns. He sniffed the air, hoping to smell honey, but all he smelled was fresh dirt and dewy leaves. Suddenly, he heard a sound. Bzzz! A tiny, striped bee zipped right past his nose. "Excuse me, Mr. Bee," Barnaby called out. "Can you tell me where to find honey?" The bee paused and hovered in front of him. "Honey? We don't find it. We make it. Follow me." The bee buzzed excitedly. Barnaby's eyes widened with surprise. He followed the little bee deep into the forest, past a chattering squirrel and a sleeping rabbit. They arrived at a huge field filled with bright yellow sunflowers that seemed to stretch all the way to the sky. "Wow!" Barnaby whispered. The bee landed on a sunflower and happily wiggled its legs. "We get the sweet nectar from these beautiful flowers. Then, we take it back to our hive and turn it into the golden, sticky honey you love," the bee explained. Barnaby watched, fascinated, as dozens of other bees landed on the flowers, sipping the sweet liquid. He had never thought about where honey came from. He had always just found it in a jar. He looked at the hard-working bees and felt a warm feeling in his heart. They were true honey heroes. "Thank you, Mr. Bee," Barnaby said. "You've shown me the best secret ever." He now understood that the honey he loved so much was not just a treat, but a gift made with a lot of hard work and teamwork. It tasted even sweeter now that he knew its amazing story. Barnaby decided he wanted to make some honey for himself, just like the bees. He went back to the flower field and tried to get the sweet nectar. He sniffed the flowers, but he couldn't get any. He licked the petals, but they didn't taste like honey. A little butterfly landed on his nose. "What are you doing, Barnaby?" it asked. "I'm trying to make honey," he said sadly. The butterfly giggled. "You can't make honey, Barnaby. Only bees can do that. But you can find honey." Barnaby felt a little silly. The butterfly then showed him a big, hollow log. "Look inside," it said. Barnaby peeked inside and saw a small beehive. There was a little bit of honey dripping from the comb. He carefully took a tiny piece. It was the most delicious honey he had ever tasted. He wanted to share it with someone. He thought of his friend, the little ant. He went back to his home and found the ant. He gave the tiny piece of honey to the ant. The ant's eyes sparkled. "Thank you, Barnaby," it said. "This is the best treat." One morning, the sky was gray, and it started to rain. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Barnaby couldn't go outside to look for honey. He felt a little sad. His mother saw him looking out the window. "What's wrong, my little honey bear?" she asked. "I can't find any honey today," he sighed. His mother smiled and said, "Don't worry. Sometimes the best treats are the ones we already have." She went to the kitchen and came back with a big jar. It was the same jar Barnaby had opened before. It was still half full. "We can have some warm milk with honey," she said. Barnaby's face lit up. They sat by the fire drinking warm, sweet milk. It was the coziest rainy day ever. Barnaby learned that he didn't need to go on an adventure to find happiness. Sometimes it was right there at home. The sun peeked through the trees the next morning, casting a warm glow on Barnaby's face. He woke up feeling happy and full of an idea. He remembered how his mother had comforted him with honey milk the day before, and he wanted to do something special for her. He gently nudged his mother awake. "Mummy," he whispered, "can we go find some honey together? I want to share it with you." His mother smiled warmly, her heart swelling with pride. "That's a wonderful idea, my sweet honey bear," she said. They walked, hand in paw, to the hollow log in the forest. Together, they carefully took a small, perfect piece of fresh honeycomb. The honey was golden and pure, smelling like 100 summer flowers. When they returned to their den, Barnaby's mother made a big breakfast. She toasted bread over the fire until it was a perfect golden brown. Barnaby watched excitedly as she carefully spread the fresh, dripping honey over the warm toast. He took a bite. It was the most delicious thing he had ever tasted, but even sweeter than the honey itself was the feeling in his heart. Sharing his favorite treat with the person he loved most made him happier than any adventure could. He looked at his mother, and she looked back at him, their smiles filled with so much love. Barnaby knew then that the best kind of happiness isn't in having things, but in sharing them.